the leaders, the general officers on general leadership to instill in them this interactive communication, being very authentic, allowing that engagement among the audience and the discussions that are happening on the blog to happen, and then to respond to those things and to kind of overcome that fear of really putting yourself out there, which is a very new thing for a lot of the general officers who are coming on board with general leadership.
All right, let's go to the phones. Chrissy in Cleveland, 86695-PATRIOT. You've been patient, Chrissy. You're on with Shauna McKenzie, Associate Curator and Lead Brand Advisor for GeneralLeadership.com, and, of course, General John Michel. Go ahead, Chrissy. There we go, Chrissy. I apologize. There you go. Now you can go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. That was my fault.
Okay, great. I just wanted to say how inspiring this is and gives me so much hope for our country. My grandparents are survivors, or were survivors of the Armenian genocide, and what happened in London today hits home for me. They hid very much like Anne Frank, and were just grateful to walk away with their lives. And their faith was such a huge part of their story. And I am just so grateful. One other thing I wanted to ask, because I identified so much with what you all have been speaking about and qualities and leadership. In 2010, I had an opportunity to go to Plymouth, Massachusetts, and I hadn't been there since I was a child. And I discovered a monument that I had never heard of before called the National Monument to the Forefathers. And the premise of the monument, I mean, I thought I was going to go there and leave feeling proud of my country, thinking that this was how we were going to honor our forefathers. And I get there, and it's not well taken care of. There's, writing on it, and there's some damage. It's been weathered. And my heart just was so broken. And this monument, for the past 2 years, I've been doing things on a grassroots level to try to raise awareness and support. Kirk Cameron did a movie not too long ago, a documentary about the monument, because the same thing had happened to him. He had visited and then, wanted to do something about it because he didn't even know it existed. The main premise of the monument is faith. She's the largest part of this monument, and she's pointing in the direction of where the pilgrims sail. Then around her are 4 different figures. The first one is morality, the second one is law, the third one is education, and the fourth one is liberty. And as I was taking in this monument, I just felt like this is a direct reflection of our country and the state that it is in, the state that the monument was in. And so I've been trying to do things, and I'm telling you, miracles have happened. I believe it's divine providence, because I have connected with people from about 7 or 8 states in different, if you want to say Tea Party, Freedom Works, those types of events. And there's no mistake of why we met. And I was curious to see if anyone has heard of that monument before, and any suggestions that you would have for me to help get the word about the monument out.
All right, Chrissy, thank you for the call. I'll take it first to you, John.
Okay.
That is, it took a little to tell the story, but there's a story there.
Oh, and it's a powerful story, so thank you so very much for sharing it. I mean, we know we're image-driven, and sometimes when we come across something, and something that was built to celebrate when we were at our best, and now generations later, you have the opportunity to come back to this and realize that when we're at our best, we're, again, a nation that's not confused about morality or the importance and the appropriate place for law and education, and it's really all wrapped up and secured in this blanket we call liberty. And so now, as you see this, I personally am inspired by hearing your story, and here's what I will offer. If you will get in touch with me, this is something that we'll be happy to blog about. Again, we created this forum to be able to have senior leaders start the dialogue. Then we moved in relationship with David so we could take the dialogue to the next level. And what you're doing is offering us an opportunity now to connect with someone who's passionate about something important. So if you're interested, I'd be happy personally to work with you to write a blog that tells the story that says, look, we know the path, and perhaps we've wandered off that path, but there are people who want to do their part to help America get back on that path. So I applaud you for sharing that story, but most importantly, the effect it's had on your heart, and know that's what we're trying to do at generalleadership.com. So it would be a privilege to help tell that story with you.
Absolutely, and you can do that by, if you want to just go to my website and send me the information, we'll make the connection. Go to davidwebbshow.com, and I'll make sure that that gets to General Michelle. Shauna, I have a question for you. Shauna McKenzie, lead brand advisor. What about the brand that is America right now? What is the state of that brand?